Well, I was a newspaper writer for a dozen years before I got into public relations. I worked at daily newspapers in North Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois before moving back to Michigan and joining the staff at the Oakland Press. I was a business writer at the Oakland Press and was in touch with a lot of PR professionals, and it seemed like a natural progression into a second career. Well, my first position in public relations was with Lovio George in Detroit, and Christina Lovio George allowed me to cut my teeth in public relations. So I thank her a lot, and she taught me a lot. And then I ran into Jim Fisher, who I went to Central Michigan with, and he told me about a position at Detroit Edison at the time, and I interviewed there and was hired and stayed with Detroit Edison DT Energy for 25 years. It was a very rewarding career. Met a lot of great people, worked in a lot of different situations that were challenging.
We want to make sure that all of our customers are safe tonight.
Now I'm retired. 1996 was when I joined PRSA Detroit, and I started out working on the state conference back in the early 2000s. It was at that point that Mary Hennigy encouraged me to take a more active leadership role in the chapter, and so I agreed to serve on the PRSA Detroit board and eventually became president of the chapter in 2008, which was a great year because Detroit hosted the international conference. PRSA put on the best international conference in history by the amount of funds that we raised and the amount of involvement that the chapter had in staging the conference. I think it's important to give back to organizations and people that have helped you along the way. And right now I serve as co-chair of the Scholarship Fundraising Committee, which is an annual bowling event. And we raised a record amount of money for scholarships that are given to public relations students that are attending university. I really thrive in crisis situations. And so 5 weeks after I joined Detroit Edison, I was on call for the first time, and we got hit with our largest storm in company history. 684,000 customers lost power. Then we had Y2K preparing for that, and that was a non-event, which we gathered in emergency headquarters, and at midnight, nothing happened, which was great. I felt like flipping a light switch or something just to see what would happen, but our CEO was there. I didn't think that would be cool. And then we had the blackout of 2003, which was probably the most challenging event in my career. Yeah, one of the great things about PRSA, especially in Detroit, is the opportunities for networking. In fact, it's how I got my job with DT Energy. Never thanked Jim Fisher enough for being there at that time. I've made great friends and longtime friends and lifelong friends, and it's really been a great experience. I'm very humbled by my induction into the Hall of Fame. I see the names of those who are already in the Hall, people that I've admired and learned from in the past, and I just can't believe that I'm among them. And I really appreciate the honor.